just how much are the whole squad looking forward to the start of a World Cup qualifying campaign?
Well, and if the training this week's any guide, then yeah, they're looking forward to it very much. Training's been good, sharp, very focused. So no, we look forward to it.
What gives you the confidence that Scotland can qualify this time?
I think our previous couple of qualifying campaigns we've shown that we can come out the group stages, be that to the playoff or direct as we did the last time to get to Germany. We've shown that we can handle the pressure of the group stages, and hopefully that's what we aim to do this time again.
Is there any extra motivation for you because you've done the Euros? It's a case of trying to get to the World Cup, and as things stand, this is your last campaign.
No, nothing extra. My job is to try and give the boys the best possible chance to get there. So I'll just concentrate on going from game to game, and hopefully when we get to the end of the group stages, we've got enough points to go to the World Cup.
How tough a start will this one be?
Yeah, it's tough. 2 difficult away games. Obviously coming here, we were here last World Cup qualifying. We know it's a tough place to come. They always play well at home, the Danish team. Very aggressive, get after you. So we know we have to defend well, but we also know we have to play well. When we have the ball, we have to play, we have to try and create chances, and hopefully we can come away with a nice positive result to start the campaign.
We're speaking to Andy Robertson there. Obviously it's a truncated qualification process, it's very quick. Do you feel, given that then, there's no real margin for error, or will it be a group where everyone will take points off everyone else?
I think it could be a very competitive group. But listen, that's trying to look into the future. You don't know. All we can do is concentrate on making sure that we're ready for every single game as we approach them, get the approach right, and go to the games, give everything we've got, and hopefully get the points tally that takes us to America.
A couple of injuries, how big a blow is that not having Kieran and Anthony Ralston here?
Yeah, always disappointing. Listen, you pick your squad, you know that, I think I've learned over the last 6 and a bit years that you're always going to lose one or two, so to lose 2 fullbacks was disappointing, but we have enough cover in the squad.
Does that have an impact on how you think about setting up? I know you've switched between different formations. Does that change or impact that in any way?
No, it doesn't, because if you look at the squad that I picked, there's plenty of defensive cover there.
We obviously qualified for the Euros, Steve. I just wonder, when you started at the beginning of that campaign, do you have the same feeling this time round with the players you have and the environment you've got that this can be a special one?
Well, I've got a lot of the same players. And I've also freshened up with some younger ones. The younger ones always come in and lift the mood around the place. The more senior players enjoy it when they get challenged a little bit for their places. So, no, the group's in a good place.
I just wondered if you were to compare the groups to the sort of evolution that the squad is at now. You have your likes of Ben Doken there. Do you see that? How do you compare the Euros squad that made it to this one?
Probably similar, and the younger ones were coming through at that time. Your Gilmores, your Pattersons, Hickey, they were coming through. Ferguson, obviously Lewis missed out with the injury, but that was your little young group that was coming through. They're now in the squad, a little bit more established, so hopefully the young group that I've got just now can learn and be a big part of the squad moving forward.
In terms of goalkeeper, Steve, is that a big decision? Sorry,
can you see?
Sorry, with the goalkeeping situation, is that a big decision you've got to make? And if so, what's going to influence it in terms of guys that are not playing very much?
I just watch them in training. I'll be guided by Chris. Chris was my goalkeeping coach. We know what they can all do. That's the 3 goalkeepers that took to the Euros, so we've worked very closely over a number of matches and a number of international camps. So I'm pretty clear for what I'm going to do with the goalkeepers.
We spoke to you before about your own kind of situation. I think you said previously that you were kind of 75% certain that this was going to be your last campaign. Is that still the case, or have you had conversations about this is going to be the last campaign?
I haven't thought about it myself. I'm only concentrating on making sure that the boys are as well prepared as they can be, and then we'll see what happens after the campaign.
Some of the players, Steve, have said some nice things about this, about the fact that all the work that they've done with you over these years, and the fact that if this is the last one, they want to do it for you. Is that quite a touching thing to hear the players saying that, or are you too?
It's nice to be liked. That's not always the case in this job, eh? Sometimes it doesn't feel like that. No, listen, I've got a great relationship with my players, especially the players that have been with me for the whole campaign, or the whole of my campaign, just over 6 years now. So I've got a good relationship with them all. I think we've worked really hard at building a good spirit among ourselves. We're very determined to be successful again for the country in this tournament, and hopefully we can do that.
What they've also mentioned is because of the different sort of condensed nature of this qualifying campaign, they need to get off to a good start. They need to come out the traps, and they were expecting, I think, to hear you kind of stating that quite clearly to them over the build up to this game. Does it feel different because it is over the course of 3 double headers, just a couple of months?
Not really, to be honest, because you have to start well anyway. You always have to get as many points as you can, but it's not to say that you can't have a slow start and still qualify. I think we had a slow start for come back. Not the last campaign, the campaign before, where we had a slow start and we still managed to come through at the end of it. So we'll just do what we can, and like I say, you always try to keep the big picture is at the end of November. How many points have we got, and is that enough to take us to the World Cup?
Obviously, you want to win tomorrow night, Steve. But I mean,
that would be nice.
Yeah, but as a point, I think a point would be regarded as a really solid result and start, given it's here.
I think over the 2 games we play to win both games, and then we see what we get. I don't think we're going to come here and set up for a draw, because I think if you do that and you encourage the Danish team to come at you like they did 3 years ago now, when we were here last, it can be a very long night, because they're a team that asks you to defend a lot, the team that want to put the ball in the box, and they're a team with top quality players. So if we sit back and try to think that we're going to come here and nick a draw, I think that would be a foolish thing to do.
I mean, one of the strongest performances of your time was probably the home victory over Denmark. Do you draw on that at all, or mention that at all to the players?
No, I think we just mentioned the fact that when we've been away from home recently, we've always been very competitive. We haven't won all the games, but we've had some decent away results. We've shown that we can travel and be a force, and that's what we aim to do.
And obviously you lost Kieran, but I mean, does that clarify the defensive shape or the selection at the back at all?
It was clear in my head before I got to the camp.
It was a torrid night here last time you were here, Steve, in the opening 15 minutes. I think we're 2-0 down. But do recent wins in places like Warsaw and Athens gives you hope that something special can happen here tomorrow night?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Our recent away performances have been decent. Even going away to Portugal, we lost a goal in the last minute to lose that one. The game against Spain in Seville, we were right in the game up until the very end. So we know if we get our performance right, that we can come here and be very competitive.
You mentioned at the start, Steve, about the players, how they've been training this week. Does that give you any sense of how they are going to play? I mean, do you sense that they're up for it, essentially?
Well, they're definitely up for it. I think over my years, my experience in football is sometimes not to read too much, because sometimes the team's flying during the week and then they forget to turn up at the weekend. So I think you expect them to be as excited as they are about the campaign. You expect them to come in and train and work as hard as they can, because it's not every year. I'm going to say every year. It's not every year, but it takes a long time to get to a World Cup qualifying campaign. It seems a hell of a long time since we lost that playoff game to Ukraine. So all the boys that were here remember that night, and they want to make amends for that.
I'd imagine, though, it's better to see them like you've seen them this week than the opposite, you know?
I've seen them be pretty rubbish in training and turn up and play all right. So, like I say, sometimes you try to read too much into everything. It's better just to try and keep the middle ground.
I was going to ask you as well about young Doak. Does that give you a different dimension to the team in terms of what he gives you? You kind of missed him when he wasn't there.
Immediately, he gives you a different dimension, because he's quick, direct, and likes to get at the opposition. So that's the type of player that we've maybe been missing a little bit, and we certainly missed Ben when he was out injured. It's nice to have him back, and hopefully he can have a big impact over the next 6 games.
Steve, you mentioned the goalkeeper issue earlier. How important is it for a goalkeeper to be playing regularly? Only one of the 3 in the squad is doing that just now.
Obviously it's helpful if you're playing week in, week out at your club and you're playing well. So we haven't got everybody playing at the moment. It's not such a big issue, because they'll have had minutes pre-season. They've all had minutes over the course of pre-season, so it's not such a big issue in this camp, but maybe later in the year as they don't play, It's also one of the positions that is very particular because only one plays, there's only one goalkeeper. They're very used to being the number 2 at certain stages of their career, so they know that they have to work hard, train well, and be ready for the opportunity if they're given that. Rob,
Cheers,
thank
folks.
you.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you. Sorry, we're late again. Always late. Late again.